I think that the area was hit hard a couple years ago by IBM leaving, and that unfortunately it resulted in a lot of people being homeless and our homeless community being higher and higher. Yeah, no, it definitely needs work. I mean, I hate seeing anybody be homeless. I don't like anybody being without a roof over their head, especially in the cold, especially up in Binghamton. We just got 38 inches of snow, so I mean, kind of stinks for them. I mean, just for me, I see a lot of people with cardboard signs and whatnot, and like I especially see them more on the west side now than actually downtown, as begging for money sometimes. I heard about, Binghamton being one of the first cities in America to try to help provide housing for the homeless, which I think is a great step for America, and hopefully other cities would follow about it.
We kind of got the short end of the stick in terms of government agencies with their help. So far, it's been more or less the public that's been benefiting all the homelessness and the homeless people that are in the area. The government agencies, they're shutting down. They're doing what I would call malpractice with some of their, with some of the ways that they're handling the situation with the people that are around here that are stuck in these situations. If you go look at our Veteran Center right now, it's under construction. It hasn't been remodeled since I've been here. And I've lived here most of my life, and it's not the government that's fixing it, I'll tell you that right now. They were unfit, and instead of making them fit, places that would benefit these people, they're shutting them down and kind of leaving them to their own vices, which has been proving not to work. They come back, and I mean, they don't really have the social skills to adapt to regular society. I mean, every veteran knows it's a whole different world inside the Army and the armed forces than it is outside. So that transition period, whether or not they're coming home or if they're leaving their service and coming into the civilian world, there needs to be a place for them to transition, which is what the Veteran Center was supposed to assist with. Now, they're very, very overcrowded due to the past few wars we've been in, have left a lot of people addicted to drugs due to their taking painkillers over and over again, and then they lose care. The Veterans Association can't physically handle all the people that there is coming to them for help. So what they're doing is essentially turning people away and leaving them to kind of go do their own on the streets. So these people that were on these prescription medications, coming back with blown off legs, coming back with injuries, getting shot, they can't find the medication that they need to help them live a normal life. So they're turning to the streets, ending up on drugs, and on drugs, you're not going to pass a drug test. So they're afraid to kind of get jobs, and the jobs that they can get, they can't afford to live in this market. When the government's solution to homelessness is placing spikes underneath bridges so that they can't stay there, that's wrong. That's horrible. That's not helping. What we need, I think...
Really? They're actually doing that. That's really inhumane.
You're saying that? Imagine how many other people feel that way. If you go underneath a bridge, the little spikes on the ground, believe it or not, that's what that's for. Outside of business entrances, we don't have any. If you look down on the ground and you see spikes, it's to prevent homeless people from sitting there. If you look at the benches nowadays, especially around here, they'll all have armrests in the middle. That's to kind of get the homeless people away from staying on the benches out in public. So we're essentially shunning them instead of helping them.
There is a lot of homeless people here for a lot of reasons. We're like one of the poorest places in this country by capita. I only know because I'm a human service, major. So we learn about this every day, but most people don't know that we have the most poor people, we have the most hungry children, we have the most homeless people, we have a lot of mentally ill people. They just shut down the psych center, so all those mentally ill people are on the street. We have we got a lot of homeless people, we have a lot of veterans, and a lot of people think that it's just because of the heroin alone. But the heroin's connected a lot to the mental health, and if they had a place to go where they could get help, then maybe they wouldn't be on the streets. But right now it's either the streets, the shelter, or there's a lot of people in the jail. And a lot of people assume that homeless people are lazy or they don't want to work. But a lot of them are just down on their luck. They have kids, there's families being split up, and it's just terrible. A lot of them really can't get there unless they get mental help and therapy so they can get on their feet. So really, it's just a cycle of they go into the shelter for however long it is till you get kicked out. If you go to even CPEP for the emergency, mental help, sometimes you can be in there hours waiting for a room, let alone a bed. They're completely full to capacity. Everywhere is completely full to capacity that we have, and instead of building more places, we're shutting more down. I met a guy once and I took him out to breakfast. It turned out that he was just a veteran, and he was hearing voices and he couldn't find any jobs, and veteran help is spread thin as it is. I know that we do have a veteran center to help, but I don't know how many we have. I only know of that one. People will publicly on the street tell us not to help out people who are homeless or they don't have a dollar, or buy them food. Even for an entrance interview, I know that they'll mail you the paperwork, and I know it took someone over a month just to get the paperwork. It's already stigmatizing enough to be homeless because you failed the American dream. You don't have somewhere to live, you don't have a job, and then you have to prove that you're not on drugs too, and that's kind of dehumanizing.
I think that's part of the stigma of the homeless, that they're all doing drugs, and so therefore nobody wants to actually help and invest in them, because they think that every single one of them is either going to buy alcohol or they're going to buy drugs. Let me tell you statistically, people, that 38% use alcohol, but there's even less that use drugs in that position. There's 24% roughly. So don't think that people are going to instantly do it. It's 1 out of every 4 might go and use it for drugs, and a little bit more, like 1.5 out of 4 is going to be, working on getting the next beer or the next alcohol. But that's small. That's small, people. So if you are afraid to do that, I mean, that's kind of almost being discriminatory. Oh, yeah. So, you have to look at this with open hearts and open minds.
Hey guys, just got done with episode 4. I know it's long. I'm very sorry. It's roughly 8 minutes along with my commentary here at the end. It's going to be a little longer. The song that played through there was by an artist named Joe Altier. He used to be part of Brand New Sin. They're a band out of Syracuse. He does his own work. It's an amazing song. It's called My World. I will leave links for you, possibly in this video frame or down within the comments. There was much more interviews that I had that I just didn't have room to actually put in here. So I may post a video with those extra interviews, but I'm not going to put them in the actual series. So I do appreciate you guys watching this. Please like down at the bottom there, and then subscribe over there, and I appreciate it, and hopefully you guys will continue watching, and if you do, I gracefully thank you. I appreciate it. Talk to you later.